If I describe that week from a distance, it looks ordinary. There are photos: my mother in oversized sunglasses, my brother pretending to push me into the ocean. The three of us under a rented umbrella, pretending we have always been uncomplicated. I remember thinking, on the second day, that something felt staged. Not wrong, just curated. My mother insisted on taking too many pictures. My brother avoided being alone with me. Small things you don't name at the time. The message came at 6:12 a.m. on the third morning. Unknown number, fly home. Don't say anything to your mother and brother. I stared at it long enough for the screen to dim. Spam, I thought. Or someone's idea of a joke. I deleted it. 5 minutes later, another message arrived. A ticket has been purchased in your name. 1:45 p.m. departure. Check your email. My heart didn't race immediately. It slowed. I checked my email. There it was, a confirmed flight, paid in full. I sat on the edge of the hotel bed listening to the ocean outside and felt something subtle but decisive shift inside me. Whoever sent it knew my legal name. Knew where I was. Knew enough to spend money. I looked at the bathroom door where my mother was showering. The message had been specific. Don't say anything to your mother and brother. That specificity made it impossible to ignore. I told them I wasn't feeling well. That I wanted to go home early. My mother frowned, not concerned, more inconvenienced. You'll waste the money, she said. It's refundable, I lied. My brother looked at me for a second too long. Then he shrugged. No one asked more questions. On the flight, I replayed the past few years in my mind. My father's death when I was 9. The closed casket funeral. The way my mother handled paperwork without letting me see it. The fact that I had never once visited his grave alone. Details I had filed away as childhood fog now rearranged themselves. When I landed, I almost convinced myself it would be nothing. Some bureaucratic mistake. Then I walked into the arrivals hall. A uniformed police officer stood near the information desk. Beside him, a man in a gray suit holding a thin leather folder. They looked at me like they had been waiting. "Are you?" the lawyer said. Confirming my name, I nodded. "I'm sorry to bring you back under these circumstances," he said. His tone was careful, not dramatic. "We need to speak with you privately." The officer didn't touch me. He didn't need to. His presence made it official. We sat in a small office near airport security. The fluorescent lights hummed softly. The lawyer opened the folder. "I represent an estate currently under investigation," he said. "Your biological father passed away 2 weeks ago." The sentence didn't make sense. "My father died when I was 9, I said automatically. The lawyer didn't argue. He slid a document across the table. A death certificate. The name was my father's. The date of birth matched. The date of death was recent. "This is a mistake," I said. The officer spoke then, not unkindly. "Mom, your father did not die when you were 9. Records show he legally changed his name shortly after a domestic separation. There was no registered death at that time." I stared at the paper. The closed casket, the sudden move to another city. The way my mother refused to answer questions about him. "He was alive?" I asked. The lawyer nodded once. "He requested that you be notified upon his passing. He also amended his will 6 months ago. You are named as sole beneficiary." I think I laughed. A small, disoriented sound. "My mother told me he died. There is no death certificate from that period," the officer said gently. "We've verified." The room felt narrower. The lawyer continued speaking, words like assets, trusts, property holdings landing without meaning. Apparently, the man I believed buried had built a life elsewhere. A business. A different address. No other children. Why didn't he contact me? I asked. "There are records of attempted contact," the lawyer said carefully. "Letters returned. A petition for visitation denied. After that, he appears to have respected the court's order." Court order. Denied. The world tilted. My mother had told me he abandoned us. That he chose another life. That he didn't fight, but there were filings. Documents. Dates. The officer placed a small stack of copies on the table. I remember trying to read one and watching the words blur. My ears filled with a low rushing sound. The ceiling lights seemed too bright. If he wasn't dead, then my childhood wasn't what I thought it was. If she lied about that, what else was curated? I tried to ask another question. but my body had already made its decision. The last thing I remember is the lawyer standing abruptly. When I woke up, I was staring at a hospital ceiling. My mother was in the chair beside the bed. Her face was pale, but not surprised. "You shouldn't have gone," she said quietly. It wasn't an apology. It wasn't concern. It was almost irritation. "They told me," she added. "About the will." There it was, not shock that I had learned the truth. "The will, you said he was dead." I managed. She looked at her hands. "He might as well have been." "That's not the same thing." Silence. My brother stood near the window, avoiding my eyes. Later, after she left to take a call, the lawyer visited again. He explained that the estate would transfer to me pending probate. That there would be hearings. That my mother had no legal claim. Authority had shifted. Not because I fought for it. Because the truth had surfaced. I don't know yet what I feel about the inheritance. It feels like receiving a letter decades late. Written in a language I barely understand. What unsettles me more is not the money. It's the realization that my childhood narrative was edited. When I close my eyes now, I don't see the beach from that vacation. I see the thin leather folder on the airport desk. I see my mother's face when she realized I knew. And I understand something I didn't before. Sometimes the collapse isn't loud. Sometimes it's the quiet rewriting of everything you thought was solid. I haven't decided what to do with the estate. I haven't decided what to do with her. But I know this, the man I mourned at 9 wasn't dead. And the version of my life I trusted without question is.